serpents and spiders and tails of a rat. Call upon the spirits wherever they're at.
Yeah, sunny days, no clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me, cause I'm gonna be on break.
Hello and welcome back, right here. Why am I stuck in this magical ball? One moment. I'm back! Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, Rye here along with my partner,
Scott.
And we are back with another movie review. And this time we are going to be reviewing Disney's latest remake of The Haunted Mansion. Before we do, I do want to take a moment to welcome all my followers, subscribers back to my channels. I hope you are liking my reviews on movies as well as my collection and some gameplay that you'll be seeing more of. And I do want to welcome any newer viewers to my channel. If you have not yet, it'd be greatly appreciated if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. Any support will be welcome. Before we go into depth of the movie, I do want to put that spoiler alert up there because we will be touching base on the movie throughout our conversation, and we may be dropping some of the spoiler alerts to the movie. I will start off with the description, a brief description of the movie, and then we'll go into the full movie and our thoughts, as always. It is about a woman named Gabbie and her son. They want to start anew, and they buy the Haunted Mansion, which they didn't know it was haunted, and they were kind of like a fixer-upper, and she wanted to do like a bed and breakfast. But anyways, they buy the Haunted Mansion, and they cannot escape from that mansion, and they get the help from others to see how they can resolve this issue and finally either be happy in the mansion or move on and find a new place. But it keeps bringing them back to the mansion. But let's go ahead and get more into it, and I will let you start.
So, you have the main character, and why can't I remember the main character? Ben. The movie starts with Ben, and he is at a social gathering in a bar, and he meets...
It's New Year's.
It's New Year's. He meets a lady, Alyssa, and they have a connection, which you can see. And then all of a sudden we fast forward, and Ben is not happy, having a very bad day, and clearly something has gone wrong. We don't know what it is at that moment. And while that's going on, we also learn that Gabbie and her son have moved into a new house. And all of a sudden, they notice that armor is following them around, and there's some ghostly activity that the boy especially notices as well. And they run away. I forget his name too.
I'm gonna look while you...
And so they run away. What we learn later is that the ghosts are haunting them, so much so that they are forcing them basically to return to the house. And what we learn as well is that this is going to happen to any person that sets foot in the house. So if you go inside the house, you're going to be stuck in the house. So when Ben's...
You're not necessarily stuck. They haunt you outside, bringing you back, telling you need to return.
Right.
Or they're going to keep haunting you.
Right. So Ben basically takes this job that he meets a guy who is a priest. And he visits him, and Ben ends up checking out the house, and he brings with him a camera that he developed as an astrophysicist, I believe was his job title, which can collect images of basically ghosts or any ghostly activity. But he doesn't really believe in ghosts, and he doesn't believe what's going on, and he fakes the whole thing. He pretends to take pictures, he pretends to take notes, and basically the mom is on to him the whole time. She wants him to come in to help, and she realizes that he's just playing around, but she doesn't say anything, and she knows that he's going to come back, and she's right.
So I'm going to bring you back. Just, I think an important part of the film is at the beginning. So I'm going to take us back a little bit and then jump us back forward. So at the beginning, Ben, which is the main character, who is an astrophysicist, he meets Alyssa, who is, she kind of like jokes with him that they're in the same job field, because she is a tour guide, or like a haunted tour guide in New Orleans. So we skip ahead, like you mentioned, and he is in a bad mood. You can tell everything's wrong, and he's actually he's not doing his job again. He's doing a tour. So we're kind of like, what happened? Like, why is he doing these haunted tours? Well, then, like you mentioned, the priest, spoiler alert, he is not a priest. He pretends to be one. But at this time, Ben doesn't know. And he's saying, we need your help because you are someone who expertises in something that we need. So we fast forward, and Gabbie opens the door and she tells him, if you step inside, this is going to change your life. And he just goes in and says, okay, whatever, yes, I don't believe in ghosts, I don't care, I don't see any ghosts, blah, blah, blah. And as he's going through, like you said, he's pretending to take pictures, take notes, because his battery is dead in his camera. And he doesn't see anything unusual. So he goes home, and a ghost follows him and starts haunting him, which makes him go back to the house because the ghost keeps telling him to return. And he wants to help them out. He puts the battery in the camera works, and it shows the ghost, and they get together as a team, and they want to form a dream team. And that's when they get other characters that come in. So we have the median, which is Tiffany Haddish's character. And then we have Danny DeVito's character, which is somebody who has done a lot of research on haunted areas in that city. We had the priest. We have Gabbie, which is the mom, and then we have Travis, which is the little boy, which I feel like he was the best actor in that movie. I really do feel like he was the best actor, like above everyone else.
Well, I'm struggling a little bit with this movie because it's long, and so there's so many details, so I don't want to get it wrong or get into the weeds too much, but I know that they get together, they find a seance room, and they perform a seance with the help of Tiffany Haddish's character.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening there is
so they find out who the owner was of the house, which was William Gracie. And so that was their first clue to try to make contact with, to see what's going on and why these ghosts are telling them to return and needing to come back and figure out what's going on. They do contact William Gracie, which then tells them that they need to contact Madame Leota. And so we go into this story about how William Gracie's wife died in the house, and over a course of a year, he partnered up with Leota and tried to make contact with his wife because he was sad. And during that time, they were letting other entities in the house, and they were coming into the house and staying in the house. And Leota didn't want to continue because she was scared that a spirit or someone from the other side who wasn't a good spirit would come and cross over.
And that's exactly what happens.
And that's what happens. The Hatbox Ghost is the one that is the evil spirit. And that one is trying to come out and live in the real world. But for him to do that, he needs to collect 1,000 lives. But his last soul needs to be willing to cross over so he can go into the real world. But he's the one that's trying to come back, and he was the villain of this movie. So they try to contact Leota, help them get this spirit taken care of and like banished, but she's stuck in a ball, like I was. To gist it all up without going into the weeds, they end up partnering with Leota, and of course there's some funny scenes in there. Like you mentioned, it is a long movie. They could have chopped it down 30 minutes because I think it was like 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. So I think they could have chopped that down. But overall, it was a good story in my opinion. But there's just so much of this movie to talk about without going, talking long. But we find out that Ben's wife had passed away, so he has been holding on to her, and she passed away in a car accident, and he kind of feels that guilt of not going with her because she asked him to go with her to get some tots and ice cream because she always loved doing that and all that stuff, and he kind of brushed her off because he had a lot to do, and he was like, not now, don't bother me. And I guess he kind of felt bad because she ended up passing away, and that's why he took the job of being the tour guide, because I kind of felt like he had that guilt and it was making up for that.
I'm having trouble with this movie because there's so many things that happen, and they flash forward and flash back, and then the stories are so intertwined, and it's long.
Yes.
So I feel like I go in one direction, but maybe that wasn't the right direction. So I would say yes, like to what you said,
Yeah.
that everything about Ben, what was true. So then the hat, what comes spirit? The Hatbox spirit goes after Travis, the little kid, to be his other willing soul. His dad actually passed away, and he's talking to his dad, and he's thinking,
The Hatbox Killer is essentially pretending to be these loved ones from the other side. So that's how William Gracie died, because he pretended to be his wife, and that's how he got his soul. And then he tried to get Ben's soul by pretending to be Alyssa, and now he's trying to pretend to be Travis's dad, and Travis is a kid, so he doesn't really know better, so he's becoming that willing soul. They basically they trick the Hatbox killer, the Hatbox ghost, and they try to buy some time and all this stuff, and they basically banish the Hatbox ghost, and they all end up being happy, and they stay in the house, and so do majority of the ghosts stay in the house. But that's pretty much the gist of it. There is a lot to it, because it was so long that they added like kind of things that went everywhere. But I'll let you give your thoughts and your rating of
I
the
would
movie.
rate this one a 7 out of 10. It really was a long movie for me. I kind of caught myself like, okay, this is still going, which is not something you want to think about in a movie. That means you're distracted, or it's boring, or it's moving too slow. So I found myself going there with it. I would say that the child star in the movie was a strong actor who did very well, but also that emotional connection undertow that is present in the movie the whole time is what's helping this movie for me, like as far as giving it a higher number, because it is touching, like his relationship with his wife,
Gabbie?
No,
Alyssa.
So that story is a strong one. So it is a good movie. I also love Danny DeVito, and he does a great job.
I would also give it a 7 out of 10 as well. Maybe, yeah, I guess a 7 out of 10. I think the only thing there were a lot of things that I didn't really care for. So the overall movie, if you like the Haunted Mansion ride, they do pay homage to some of it throughout the movie, which is great. The only thing I did not like that I see that a lot of current movies are doing is that they're leaving you guessing at the beginning, and then they do these flashbacks throughout the movie, which is like, okay. But I felt like the story would have been stronger if they left the wife, Alyssa, and Ben's story at the beginning. Like, you get this, okay, they're building this relationship, and then they should have showed, you know, the part where she's leaving and he's like, like, I think that would have made us bond more and had a stronger connection with Ben and Alyssa, and gave it more of a tug at our heartstrings when we had those flashbacks of when he would say she liked doing this and all this stuff, which they did do, but I didn't feel that strong connection there, and I kind of don't like did she leave him? Did she die? Like, I don't really care to guess. I felt like it would have been stronger if everything was said at the beginning and we're like, okay, there we go. And I think that may have been a reason why the movie was long too, because it jumped back and forth. But overall, I think the story was good. They made it enjoyable. I did catch myself like, dang, this is a long movie. Like, when is it going to be over? But 7 out of 10 I would give it, for sure. I would say if you want to wait to watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus or a streaming service, I would do so. But it was an overall okay movie. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and end our review of the Haunted Mansion here. Let me know if you saw the movie yourself, if you plan to see the movie, if this convinced you to maybe not see the movie. And I'm a big Disney fan, so I don't really usually say wait till it comes out. But I think this one is okay for you to just wait to come out on stream or Disney Plus. The cast was a good cast. But if you'd like to comment down below and let us know your thoughts on the review, and like I said before, if you've seen it, if this review made you wait to see it, let us know. We'd like to hear from you. Let us know if there's any movies that are coming out that you'd like us to review. We're not going to do a whole lot of reviews on movies, but I do want to focus mainly on my doll collection and gameplay, and tune into my live streams. It'd be greatly appreciated. I do giveaways there 90% of the time. And as always, hope you have a great day.
And a great night.
Wherever you're at today. And remember to stay kind to yourself. Simply Rye, out.